Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'd like to talk about the new MacBook lineup in 2016, which is rumored to appear on WWDC in 2016. So let's get started. First, there are some rumors that it features a USB Type-C port, which makes sense because the MacBook Retina with 12-inch is somehow a test device for USB Type-C port. It only has one port and it doesn't really make sense. However, it gave a chance for Apple to test the new USB Type-C port on a device before shipping it with the new MacBook Pro or eventually with the MacBook Air. Second, we have Thunderbolt 3, which should deliver up to 40 gigabits per second. It may be included into the USB Type-C port compared to the display port right now, because USB Type-C can be used for Thunderbolt, so it makes sense to drop the display port for Apple. On the third, we can see some new DGPUs or dedicated graphics cards from either AMD or Nvidia, depending on which Apple will choose. We have AMD Polaris and we have Nvidia Pascal, and both feature a lot more performance and huge battery savings compared to the old models, so we might see a performance bump on the high-end 15-inch MacBook Pros. Then we have rumors about new hinges, which should allow the MacBook Pro to be thinner and even slimmer compared to the old models, which are quite thin indeed. And this could lead to a lighter MacBook Pro, so maybe we'll see a MacBook Pro with 15-inch with all maxed out things like graphics, CPU, quad-core processor, everything, with about maybe 1.5 kilograms, which would be a huge deal for portability. Also, a switchless Force Touch keyboard has been patented by Apple, so we might see a Force Touch keyboard on the new MacBook Pros to reduce its size and make it even slimmer, as I said before. Then of course, as the MacBook Pros right now feature either Broadwell or Haswell processors, depending on 13 or 15-inch size, we might see Skylake now, so there will be an update for the CPU. Let me take a look here. We have up to 20% more performance. We have 41% more power in terms of graphics from the CPU, which will also be interesting for 15-inch users, as it of course depends if the app uses a DGPU or the integrated graphics cards. You can toggle this. I hope you know this on a 15-inch model with discrete graphics that you can switch between those two. I think you should know that. And even 30% more battery life. So if you do heavy or intensive tasks like Photoshop or now Final Cut, for example, or Premiere Pro, you might even be able to use it for 3 or 4 hours with intensive usage. Compared to my old MacBook Pro from 2012 without Retina display, which lasts up to 2 hours at full usage. So that's not really good actually. I would prefer to have a better battery life. Then there are some rumors about the MacBook Air, because the new MacBook, the new Retina MacBook, somehow replaces the MacBook Air. It fits between the 11-inch MacBook Air and the 13-inch MacBook Air, so it's likely that the MacBook Air will just be discontinued and there will only be the MacBook and the MacBook Pro, or even a huge MacBook and the 12-inch MacBook, which might be a very risky decision for Apple, but it would make sense, I guess. Other things include YD, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but it's wireless display technology from Intel, which could allow up to 5K streaming to a monitor without using a cable. And this is really great. It's featured with a new CPUs from Intel, so this might be included by Apple too. Also, some other rumors include new colors, so you have space gray, gray and rose gold. It makes sense for Apple to change the complete lineup step by step, adding these new colors like you've seen on the iPhone or iPad. And then we have some rumors about the new MacBook Air. So despite the rumors that the MacBook Air should be discontinued, we have some rumors that it might be a 15-inch MacBook Air sometime, or a 15-inch normal MacBook for portability, but a bigger screen too. So this is quite interesting. Then we might see a RAM bump. Right now, 8 gigabytes are the normal size for RAM, and you can upgrade it to 16, I think, on the MacBooks, and even 32 or more on the desktop computer, so iMac, I think, I'm not quite sure. At least Mac Pro, of course, you can upgrade it, and it makes very much sense to upgrade the RAM because it will get more important as you do heavy tasks. And also, if you don't have a discrete graphics card only integrated, the RAM will be split up because the CPU needs to use the RAM for VRAM, for the graphics memory. And with 8 GB, you're not really future-proof right now. It gets quite problematic compared to 16 GB systems, which will give you a performance boost for heavy tasks, again, like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and so on. So more RAM would make sense, but maybe it comes at a high price. Last but not least, there are some rumors about a new fingerprint scanner on the Mac, and Apple has patented this in 2007, and we haven't seen a single Mac device now with a fingerprint scanner, and it's very convenient. Imagine being able to unlock your Mac by just placing your fingertip on it. It would be so much more convenient. Of course, there are some other things because Apple has to restrict this certain hardware that only system devices, or at least the system itself, can access it, so it will be protected against hackers, for example, who would be able to steal your fingerprint, which has been done on the iPhone and iPad. On the iOS system, you have no issues with leaking data because it's protected on the hardware side or the hardware itself. So it's important for Apple to keep that in mind, because I don't want to see my fingerprints somewhere around the internet, or someone being able to unlock my Mac just because, you know, they found a fingerprint in the hardware or software on my hard drive. I don't know. So in the end, we'll see about the new MacBooks, I guess, on WWDC 2016, or maybe in fall. I'm not quite sure when Apple will release them, but I'm really excited about them. Right now, I own a 15-inch MacBook Pro, mid-2012, non-Retina, and a MacBook Air, 13-inch, mid-2014. And I really love the small size of the MacBook Air and its weight because it's so really light. You can carry it around everywhere. It almost replaces my iPad now if I'm on the go. But I still love to have a MacBook Pro with a lot of power that I can carry around. Of course, I have the huge model with 2.5 kilograms, which is really thick compared to the new Retina models, but a lightweight MacBook Pro for me to carry around with all day battery life, for using Photoshop or Premiere Pro on the go without having to carry a charger with me all the time, it would be a great deal. So I'm looking forward to this WWDC 2016 and to new MacBooks. Well, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, and you can comment down below what you think about the new MacBook Pros, or maybe you know more than me and you have something to share about new features and new rumors, or maybe you're an insider and you know what Apple will gonna release. So please tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye. Is this thing on? Can't see that. Hello? Is there someone inside the camera?